the time to showcase your gifts to the world. Artists and lyrics. The gifts of a man make it.
We're so excited on Artist and Lyrics this week to be hosting Omolara Familua, and she'll be talking about her song, Hey Jesus.
It's the show, Friday Bond.
Artist and Lyrics is always airing on MZ Radio London every Thursday, 7 through 7:30 p.m., as well as AP Radio United Kingdom every Thursday, 5 through 5:30 p.m. London time.
Artists and lyrics. Show us your light.
Ọlọ́run tó dá wọn òkè ìgbàanì, èyí ni mo fi ọpẹ́ mi fún. I'm from the island of Malta, and my father is a jazz musician. My mom she's not a professional singer, but she really can hold some tunes and harmonize and everything. So at least God really blessed me from both ends there. From very young age, I had this desire for music. So growing up, it was really musical, and I really wanted to go for music full time, but because of the fact that Malta is a small country, I had to have a plan B so that I can have some food on my table, if you know what I mean. Because of that, I went to a very different route, which is I did midwifery in college. So I am a professional midwife. I worked as a midwife for some years before I got married and then moved from my country to America. So my music was in the secular, section. So I used to maybe go to places where they have open mics where I can sing and stuff like that. So that is practically where I kind of gained the experience being on stage. That is what helped me to grow as a musician from that aspect. And that continued until I gave my life to Christ. I met my husband, and now we moved to Ireland first. And when we moved there, I joined the worship team. So we used to do this Irish songs that. So then from there we moved to New York. We joined this church. It was, the pastor was Nigerian, but the people were from everywhere. They were from Jamaica, from India, from the Caribbean, from everywhere, and I was the only white person. That particular church kind of taught me, or rather exposed me to so much cultures that I've never seen. I've heard of them, of course, before, but I've never really met anyone from there. So I learned their way of, like, what, for example, sometimes they would do songs that are a little bit more reggae or, reggaeton, and you will see all these Jamaican people taking life, and then you would do something, more African, and all the African people start taking life. And that is how I kind of got exposed to African music and African songs, and that is because of the need that there was in that church, and the praise and worship leader, he saw the potential and started training me on how to do the praise and worship. He was the one that nourished my gift. And he saw it before I even realized that I was called, So that church was very, very important. So then, you will think that the story will just continue to become so beautiful, but no, because God has a process. So after we finished there, we moved now to Texas, to San Antonio, Texas. And this new church, It was an African American church. So now you can imagine the exposure has come a little bit more advanced, because I mean, this is really gospel. Like when you talk about music, this is the house of gospel. This is where it all started, kind of. But I tell you that the time that I spent there, it was like about 2 years or so. I tell you that God put me in that place to teach me some lessons. And when I say that, is to prune me, is to fix me where I needed to be fixed, so that now, fast forward to what we know now. If he did not fix me back then, I would have not been able to hold on to what is happening now. So when I say fix, I'm talking about, for example, pride. He had to handle that for me. You know, he had to put me in positions where I have to be hurt by my own pride, and how to not allow it to grow, you know. And it's painful. An issue of whether you know how to handle, how to recognize that there is a little bit of something that is trying to come up, and how to kill it. And God had to teach me how to do that, you know. So singing in Yoruba wasn't really my choice. And it wasn't either, maybe people think, oh, because her husband is Yoruba, he told her to do it. It wasn't his choice either, you know, because probably if it were to be his choice, I would have said no, because it can be challenging. So the way it happened practically throughout the years is like, for example, I would hear the song Olorun that I just sang, and I wouldn't know what it means, but something within the spirit of that song speaks to me, and I feel like a great connection with the song. And I start mimicking. Back then, I used to mimic what they are saying. So if they say Olorun, I will say Olorun. If I don't get it, I won't get it. I might even mess it up. But that is how it kind of started. But I never thought of it being the language that I was going to. But one day, God showed me that that is exactly what He wanted me to do. I know 5 languages in total, which is English, Maltese, my native language, Italian, Spanish, and French. So I told God, I said, Lord, why not one of these languages? I mean, it will be easier, right?
Yeah.
You know, I can do the work even faster. And guess what He said? Nothing. He didn't answer me. Once He said, this is what I want you to do, He never answered my question. So I knew that I had to swallow the mountain that I thought I was trying to climb. I really have realized now that everything that I needed to do that, I had. You know, my husband is Yoruba, so even if I listen to a song that he hasn't listened before, but I really feel that there is something that is you know, is very powerful spiritually. I can now take it to him. He can write it down for me so that I can follow what the singer is doing, and I can do it properly. And that is how it has been working so far. I did not call myself. If God says from tomorrow change to Chinese, the grace of God, the grace of God will have to be very, very strong there too, you know, but we will just change. So, I mean, I'm just here doing what my boss is telling me to do. And, you know.
Let's talk about Hey Jesus. You know, it comes to me like this song is all about this woman and not really about the listeners. So please, could you tell us more about what inspires your lyrics and how would you expect your listeners to make use of that song?
So the story behind that song is because I was so busy with this fact that I was raising children. You know, they were all, I have 3 of them, and they are just like 1 year and 4 months, 1 year 9 months in between the three of them. So they are very close to one another. So during that time, I kind of slacked in building my relationship with him. I didn't have much time to read the Bible or pray as much as I wanted to. I was always, like I said, I was always with one child crying or needing this. So I was like this one person which everybody is pulling because they need a piece of me, whether they are small or grown. They all needed a little bit of me, but the one that I needed, I was not reaching out to spend the time, And I know that many people would relate, especially women who are raising children, but even people who are so busy with work, And one time I remember I felt so empty on the inside. It's like you want to pray, but there's nothing from where you can get those words, And that is why, and I heard some people tell me, oh, is that not disrespectful to call Jesus like, hey, Jesus? That is not the way in my mind I was saying it. So this is like, you pick your phone and you're hesitating to call a friend of yours or somebody that you fought with or you had an argument with, and you feel remorse and you want to call them, but you're a little bit hesitant, right? And then when you call, you get the voicemail, right? So you are saying, hey, Kunle, or hey, I just called because I wanted to say I'm really sorry for what I've done. And that is exactly my tone in my heart for that song. Like, hey, Jesus, I thought of you today. That's exactly the thought behind it. And I find it like it's a phone call. Really, that song is like a phone call to God whenever you become distant. So yes, it is my story. That's the actual reason why it was penned, because I was feeling that I needed to come closer to him. I'm pretty sure, I don't doubt it, that we will find ourselves in that situation where you acknowledge the fact that you slagged, but it's also, you acknowledge the fact that it's needed that you have to work, but at the same time, it's like, how do you find the balance? And that is where the song comes in. So yes, it is a song of forgiveness, a song of realization of where your life stands right now in relationship to God.
All right, thank you so much. It feels like we continue this conversation, but at a point we just have to say goodbye. We pray that God will continue to bless your ministry, and to the audience out there, we want to thank you for supporting artists and lyrics and all the guests we are bringing every week. Do good to people and don't do to people what you don't want them to do to you. Thank you so much and take care of yourself. Eshe Gani.